All right, thank you. I'm really honored to be able to present. Water has become my passion. Who would have known? I had a long history of dealing with water issues since totally being afraid of water, and I still don't swim. So I started my clean living business, and I've been branded as a resource for changing lives and changing water. I'm an independent distributor of a global company called Untitled, and I became very interested in how water could affect your body and just detoxifying. And as I got more into what water could do for your lives, I found out what's wrong with water and what's right with water. And you know, pollution is a really big issue for all of us. Plastics are a huge issue. And as you know, a lot of industries have moved towards bottled water, we find a lot of faults in that. And so I'm going to go through a little bit about what municipal waters, even though they're safe to drink, there are a lot of chemicals, they kill bacteria, but you're still left with residual chemicals in your body that do affect you, chlorines, but in some areas there's a lot of other things that are added to your water. When you drink bottled water, unfortunately you're drinking reverse osmosis water, and there's pros and cons over some of the benefits of that, but they're very purified, but they're also stripped of vital minerals. And the minerals are really what helps your body function. As a nurse, we have the electrolytes and the balance, and that's a very fine tuning. And when you have a very acidic body, to balance that back into your normal, slightly alkalized state, it takes a lot out of your body. So we take minerals from our bones and from our muscles. And it's really important. Then when you think about all the plastics, I mean, a lot of you have probably seen all the posts and the videos of how many plastics are floating around in the ocean. But those plastics are chemicals, and as water sits, anybody go past Safeway and see stacks and stacks of bottles of water sitting out in the sunlight, and they're leaching those chemicals back into that water. So this is a method of being able to take water, filter it, and then electrolyze it, and get a lot of benefits from water. I began with 1 gallon of water, and I took it home, and I saw remarkable results from my husband. And just changing your water, just hydrating your body, you're 70% water, and what it can do for your body is amazing. So you're naturally supposed to drink water. We drink it in our coffee, we drink it in a lot of other things. And if I could show anybody a demonstration on soda, I've cured a lot of people of drinking soda because it's so acidic and it lasts for a very long time in your body. And it actually takes 32 glasses of our water to resolve the effects of 1 glass of soda. So that's pretty powerful. Last year I established my LLC, and I devoted my time and research to this water and its effects. I'm a member of the Better Business. How do I get this one back? I jumped. Okay. I'm a member of the Better Business Bureau, and that was just something to validate what I do. And I expanded my company throughout the city and throughout the country. I've got distributors all over. 3 basic differences of this water is antioxidant, it's pH adjusted, so your minerals are concentrated actually from your original drinking water into your water that you're able to drink. And it's highly absorbed because it's electrically charged, so it gets into your cells quicker than any other source of water. A lot of science behind it. Our machine makes 7 different waters. There are not just the drinking waters, there's just a clean filtered water. Beauty water is amazing. It's the only water I use on my skin, I use it on my hair. And then it makes 2 cleaning waters that actually can get rid of detergents, disinfectants, Clorox, all of those things, because our water, the high acidic water, will kill bacteria in 30 seconds. We have lab results for that, so it's validated for a lot of different uses. The 11.5 strong alkaline water is a water that I use in my laundry soap. I have just cleaned out underneath my sink again because I did a little remodeling. I have no chemicals in my sink, underneath my sink. These have replaced my everything that I use in my home. So it's cost savings, it is chemical savings. You can get chemicals out of your home. And there is compliance. They're compliant, the 2.5 is compliant for use in restaurants for the chlorine content. And it's a chloramine. As a nurse, I'm a health advocate, and all over the place, prevention trumps treatment. if you can do whatever you can, this is a major piece. You think your body is 70% water, and you can do 70% of the work of your body by bringing it to a place where it can heal itself. Then you work on your food, your nutrition, your exercise. But when you're hydrated and your brain functions better, you actually feel better, you have more energy, and you actually make better choices. You can start getting rid of some of the cravings in your body and start replacing some of those toxins that are stuck in your cells. I mean, I don't look at people as being obese, I look at them as being inflamed. And that's what our water does, is it really does help that inflammation process as being an antioxidant as well. Eat your fruits and vegetables. I believe it's 5 pounds of blueberries equal 1 glass of our water. It's that powerful in the antioxidant potential in it. We can reduce chemicals, plastics, get all of those things out of our homes. And I'm so passionate about helping people. My audience is everybody. And if you're drinking water, you're washing your face, whatever you're doing. And what's really cool is how many different applications. And I have a grooming center, working on a couple of restaurants right now, businesses that we can replace the drinking water. And it builds, just hydrating your body helps build your immune system. Animals love it. If you put a bowl of water, our tap water, in one of our bowls of water, the dogs will automatically go to our water. They know. It's better for them. Greenhouses, cannabis growers, we can, cannabis is huge, CBD oil. So they're using them to reduce pesticides and be able to really grow better, healthier plants. You can use it in greenhouses as well. When I started in this business, I really investigated the water. And I know a lot about the water, and I could spew out a lot of things about it. And I think I've become so passionate about it that I had to really back up and look at my whole business model and really get to know people. And that was my biggest passion, was I understood as a nurse how I could help people, improve their lives. And so I really had to step back and really get to know people. And so self-development, self-improvement are really vital when you're developing a business and getting to know more about the person in front of you than the product that you're presenting, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So, that's probably been one of my biggest things. I am the expert, but I've also utilized, I'm an expert, I'm not, just alone in myself. I've got a ton of resources, and I use testimonials and recommendations, sending out videos and other materials just so that I can give them the information, just focus on the relationships that I have. I believe that foundation of business obviously is building relationships, and so to the point where I've actually had somebody say, if I buy a machine, then I won't see you anymore, which isn't for me. It's the follow-up, and it's everything that I do in customer service afterwards, sending out emails, texting, and I'm available for phone calls and questions. And there's like, how do I use this water for? There's so many different uses, and if I don't know, I can find it. And build your relationships first. I really believe that letting your heart lead, and having the best intention for the person in front of you. I could present somebody with a gallon of water and then just find out how important it is to get chemicals out of their home or whatever it is. So, I meet people regularly. I go to businesses and just meet people where they are. I meet somebody by the healthy milk and started a conversation there. And it was just like I was waiting for Chinese pickup. And I just needed to get something and started a conversation. But, it's just like when you let your heart lead, people present to you and you get to meet them at where they're at. And sometimes, it's just the relationship building. And I love that so much. My challenges are educating, and nobody wants to think that they're wrong or that what they're doing is either not healthy or isn't in their best interests. So, I have to again back off and find out where people are at and how I can help them. And sometimes it's just because I'm, really big into nutrition and taking care of your body and finding out different ways to really apply lifestyle changes. I just very gently and loving educate people about simple changes that they can make you know, maybe they're not ready to do this, and I just got a call from somebody I had introduced over a year ago, and they're ready to buy a machine. So I never know, it's seed planting, but being accessible and just being yourself, and you know, just giving a short, in a nutshell, sort of concise presentation is kind of hard, because I get so excited, you know, it's kind of difficult. And my reward is whether or not they buy a machine. I've made a new friend, I've developed my skills, and I have, you know, I know at the end of the day that I've done well in the world. You know, whether it's, you know, I don't bomb Facebook posts, I'm a very positive and uplifting person. That's who I want to be, and I want, that's, you know, in so many ways that other people maybe have a machine that they come back to me with other things because they know that they can talk to me, and because of my knowledge in other areas, or just because I care. So it's just implanting and growing that, and that's what I love so much about what I'm doing. So it's all about passion.
Connie, I was just wondering, a lot of people in this room, or a lot of entrepreneurs I know, including myself, have a full-time job that supports them, and then their passion, their entrepreneurial venture is part-time. What would it take for you to make that transition? And do you have a plan? Do you see that in the near future, long-term future, etc.? Thank you.
That's kind of interesting. I actually had gone really full-time with it over a year and a half ago, and then in April I just started part-time at Regional, because there's benefits to working at least part-time to have, you know, financial benefits. For one was the insurance. So I kind of migrated back to that, but you know, and some of the other things that could be sustaining. There were other things that I got to see about my business that needed to be separate. So my home income versus what I wanted to establish with my business. And I do see that evolving, and as a matter of fact, things are really accelerating my business, so I'm really busy, and I love that. You know, I think I'm just kind of, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I decided that after I spent a little time in the emergency room in a small hospital this last weekend. I love, you know, being interactive, but I do see this as something that will continue to evolve and get back on the track so that it can be full-time, and expanding that business. And how I see that happening is referrals, and I am such an independent person, and there's a structure in this company, as it's a direct sales company, but as I can invite other distributors in, and I see them and support them to expand as well, so there can be some depth. You know, I've kind of gone, you know, horizontally in that, but I want to go vertically down, and I think that's another, you know, something that is, you know, definitely coming up for me, and how to expand my business that way. So that'll help me become independent. I don't regret going back to nursing, because there's so many rewards in that as well, and building my own value in myself first. I so focus on everybody else, but you know, I think as entrepreneurs we forget about taking care of ourselves, and doing those things that really, you know, balance our life, you know, and balance is its whole other issue.
Next question. So in the direct marketing business model, what are you looking for in other distributors that you might want to bring on as part of your team and help mentor them and coach them? What would make a good candidate for a distributor of this product?
I think anybody that's got a passion for helping people, right? It has to be, it has to be about, you know, where the heart is first, and that money does come second, but also that they do have some drive and motivation. I know I've seen a lot of distributors come in with, I'm going to make a whole bunch of money, and just think it's going to be really easy, but then, you know, it's the critical skills of the person in front of you instead of pushing a product. And like I said before, you know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and it is a passionate company. And there are different qualities and aspects that it can't just be about money making, but that, you know, that well-rounded, balanced person who wants to focus on health and wellness, and, helping somebody financially. After selling 100 machines, when I do make a direct sale to myself or I have other depth in my own business, my income is really good. And it can be, but there are the variables of sales and the variables of being able to get out and meeting people where they're at. So people who are teachable, coachable, wanting to learn is really important. And I can't say I was really teachable and coachable because there were so many different things, but I had a different vision for what I wanted as a business versus just being a distributor, right? To really expand in that, and anybody that wanted passion with animals. I've got presentations, I've developed a lot of education materials in a distributor packet. I spent a lot of time in those things, a lot of presentations. If you have a salon, and your passion is in salon, I can help you build a business strictly on that. If it's with animal care, and even livestock, quality horses, trainers. There's a whole category for that. And so I think a lot that's happened in the last year was been developing that for those distributors now that are coming on board with that passion. So, building the business first and then implementing it afterwards, and just choosing people that want to work with me too. So.
What's your marketing strategy? Is it all cold calling, or I guess how do you get in front of people?
I've hated cold calling. But so a lot of it, it's just people that I have known. And some I think that family can be the most difficult to work with, because you got the next best thing, or they understand, or, whatever the hesitancy is there. But I've just met different people in referral. We have some people, a lot of people that refer them back to me, or they know of me, or when they get to know me, they have done, they've been introduced to the water from somebody else, but because of who I become and that resource, they've come back to me, and want to get that service part of that. And I don't push that people have to, be a distributor or do anything. A lot of people are just end users for me. I do use some Facebook posts, but I got a Facebook fan page, and I don't bomb people with, put little information, informative things out there. So, inviting people. There's some online business stuff that I've been doing that have been attracting more customers and those that may be interested in developing a distributorship and a home business for themselves. And recently just cold calling has been, I got up the courage and one day just started going, I'm so passionate what I do that it was, I had to. I couldn't not do it, so how was I going to get access? So I have brochures and information, and it's actually worked out really well. Replacing delivered water. Like last week I took in 10 gallons, and this week we're putting a machine order in. So, just to change, just to get people to try it. So it is cold calling. I think that one of the challenges is getting in front of the decision makers, because you can go up to receptionists and, the gatekeepers and those people, but then to make the direct calls and stuff. So, yeah, like, how else am I going to get out there? You just have to do it. So just kind of get over yourself a bit.
While you're on that topic, I am curious about how are you trying to become a water supplier, and what does that look like? Do you have contracts with certain places, or do you, what does that look like?
As an individual distributor, I don't supply water. I can't sell water. It's against the company policy. I introduce people to the water because water directly out of the machine is going to be stronger in its potential. And like you said, the other uses, the 7 different waters that it makes, I'm not going to make like a whole bunch of cleaning waters. I'll do it I actually have a gal who's in a cleaning service, and she uses the water strictly for that. So it's just getting to that person. I would love to work on some contracts, and there are some businesses now that I'm actually getting in front of that when I start with them, then they can take it within their offices. So, it's just a matter of getting to that point person, you know, and who can do that with me and see that value, you know, and invest in that. Because, you know, if you're delivering water at $40 a month, you can own a machine for that and replace the cleaning chemicals and stuff. So I think that, you know, it's just seeds that are getting planted, and again, developing, like, how far can I go with this? How if I start here and get in and giving myself my own time to be able to do that. That's a balance too, you know, but I will meet people in their homes in the evenings. I'll get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, or get out there at 7 o'clock wherever people are at, and see, you know, just give people ideas and getting in front of them and creating a vision, right? A vision for what this can do, and just and paint the picture for that. I think that's really big, is, you know, how, if this is helping you, how you can benefit. And anybody, you know, a company can come in as a distributor, and then they actually get discounts and what we call rebate checks back from the company for more machines that go within that structure. So that's how I started as a distributor myself, was to see that and then get those checks back, and the depth of that. Somebody can refer a friend and they can help pay for their own machine sales. Basically in 9 sales, they paid for their own machine. So, you know, and when people are afraid about talking about money, you know, that's kind of a crazy thing. But when you can show the value of not just the water, but what they can do for, you know, their financial structure, you know, changing the waters, and imagine not buying the, you know, painting that picture, you know, how can you save money and how can you impact the planet and do bigger things? It's really huge.
Questions?
In the beginning, you mentioned 1 gallon of water changed your life. How so?
I had went to a demonstration. They used to have an office. There was a couple that had an office downtown, and would just invite people that would come in. And I went and drank the water, and I just got excited about hearing how people's bodily functions had improved. You know, a lot of resolutions of inflammation. And my husband was in a car accident. It's 20 years ago this year, and I have always been looking. He had a brain injury and a lot of physical injuries, for things that would help his chronic pain. And I took a gallon of water home and I just set it in front of him and said, "Drink this tomorrow." And he goes, "What's it supposed to do for me?" And I said, "I don't know. Just let me know." And by the end of the day, he had drank the water. He was out chainsawing down in the canyon, about past Bear Country, and was working really hard. But he said the one thing that made a difference was his thoughts and his ability to, he kind of got himself in a little pickle down there, and how he was able to get out of there, where he would have panicked before. He felt like his thoughts were improved. And that's what got me more into why this water, but it was hydration. Your brain's like 90% water. And so his brain was actually being hydrated more. And so physically it has changed both of our, you know, it's changed my metabolism, it's changed my ability to focus, it's changed my, you know, some other little pain issues and things that I've had. I just feel physically much better. But the impact for him and, you know, and other people that I've been able to affect has been really dynamic. And you just don't think, it's not like the water is a cure, but when you take water, you have filtered it, you're putting a better water in, it's antioxidant, it's got the minerals in it. And we were drinking reverse osmosis water that summer before, and I was looking older, and I had chronic migraines, and I mean, I had migraines 2 or 3 times a month. But it was like this chronic sandpaper, and just because my brain was hydrated, I no longer have migraines, because, you know, my brain's hydrated now. And you don't think of those little things, but it's been really, really life-changing. That's why I have to do what I do.
What are some of the other health benefits?
Well, if you look at just even the health benefits of hydration, build your immune system. So, you know, you detoxing, first of all, you know, we don't know what we're storing in our cells over the years, whether we have consumed it, we breathed it. Your skin is your biggest organ. You know, a lot of people put a lot of chemicals, lotions and stuff, and those things are getting absorbed in your body, and they don't get out through your liver and through your kidneys. And if they can't it's gonna store in your tissues, so you get to detoxify. You absorb nutrients better, your cravings will change. I've had people get, once I've taught them about the soda, but also about sugars, that their cravings has changed. You know, your body, your metabolism increases. I've seen a lot of people lose weight. I've had people that have gained muscle mass. There's actually a study done on Kangen water, and it shows its ability as to reduce lactic acid, to hydrate your body, and to improve your blood studies. And these were done on athletes. So it's an athletic water. I mean, it's so many different things. So when you hydrate, you function better. You sweat. You're supposed to sweat. A lot of people don't, you know. So your body can, you know, get rid of toxins that way. You know, as you hydrate, like I said, what's taking nutrients into your cells? It's water. Water is your carrier, and reverse osmosis water, because it's not electrically charged, actually sits outside of the cells, minimally absorbed, and will actually dehydrate you. So you're drinking all that bottled water and you're not getting hydrated and you keep drinking more, then, you know, it's just kind of sitting outside of your cells. Tap water is generally about 15% absorbed, and they've shown that the Kangen water, the electrolyzed water, will actually get into your tissues much more effectively. So water in, nutrients in, toxins out. Anti-inflammatory water. When the water is electrolyzed, it reduces hydrogen, and hydrogen is your strongest anti-inflammatory. That was the other thing. I'm like, how did this work? What is this? And so we can go into a lot of the sciencey sort of things and stuff. But once you try it, you'll see and start feeling a difference. Some people feel it immediately. Some people feel the taste of the water is different. I have a friend of mine who calls it slippery water because it feels different in your mouth and it's really absorbed differently. I've had other people that taste it differently, and water tastes good. So I just, you know, it's amazing what the differences in the water is and what happens to your body over time. You know, because it is antioxidant. You know, that's why it's 5 pounds of blueberries to 1 glass of water. Antioxidants are important. And the cool thing about it is, because hydrogen is a single element, when you take other antioxidants, they actually produce another free radical. Free radicals are the cells that are damaging. And there are other free radicals that actually help in your body to keep it balanced, the things that you don't want to get rid of. And because hydrogen is selective to the damaging free radicals, those free radicals that are still helping your body to get rid of are actually, you know, being really beneficial yet. So it's a real marriage, and you're not creating another. It's just a single electron zaps to it, and it's pretty neat.
I understand that, what would it be, filtering city water, tap water, is important because of all the stuff that we add in. But a lot of us, I don't know in this room, but I live out and we have well water. How does that compare? I mean, we've got the full minerals right in our water. What would be the benefits of a machine on well water versus city tap water?
I love a challenge. And well water is a huge challenge. And first of all, getting a full report. I really don't like working with anybody on a well situation until they've gotten a full report. There's still a lot of ground contaminants. You still get antibiotics. You still get a lot of. I've learned so much about water and what's in it, and different ways of getting some of the other original contaminants out of the water. So we use some pre-filtering systems when it's necessary. The filter in the Enagic device will filter out chlorine, lead and iron, and some heavy. It's a 5-micron dense filter, so it will filter some of those things out. The benefits are that it's taking, if you're feeling, if you have the minerals in your water, I have the minerals out in my water, and I had the filtering systems throughout my house. But the difference in having a machine in my home was the fact that it will electrolyze the water. So it releases that hydrogen, so it is the antioxidant, the anti-inflammatory that your body isn't normally getting. It is concentrating those minerals, which you are already having those, but you don't know in which balance that they are in. And then that third ability is that it is that electrically charged, so it is gonna hydrate. So we'll take any good water and just accelerate it and make it really much more absorbable. Like we said, even any type of well water, unaffected water is only gonna be like 15% absorbed. So I have a lot of well situations that I've done a lot of work with. And there are some contaminants out in prairie areas, nitrates in water that have to, the only way that you can get them out, I've learned a lot about water treatment too, and I have resources, I've got people, I'm definitely not the expert in that, but that you have to do reverse osmosis to get some of those things out of your water, and then after that we have a special remineralization process that will then take that water. It's actually a very excellent water then. So there are those challenges of what it is, but it will take any water and make it so much better. Plus the idea that I said you're living out in areas like I've got them out in Union Center, that you have a salt-based solution that goes into the machine, salt, sodium and chloride. The chloride attaches to that very low acidic water, that 2.5 water, makes an antibacterial water. It does kill bacteria in 30 seconds. So you can spray it on contact time in businesses and just in your home alone. Lysol is hospital approved, but you really aren't getting a lot of benefits from it. You're getting a lot of other chemicals, you're getting aerosols, and you're getting things you don't need. I've rinsed my mouth with this, I've gargled with the 2.5. And so the 11.5, conversely, you don't have to buy all of these chemicals. You have this resource right in your home that's been, all the cleaning supplies that you need. Literally taking grease, 20-year-old grease out of chainsaw chaps, my husband's chainsaw chaps, because he wouldn't believe me. And so he tested it, and they came out orange. So there's a lot of different things like that is so money saving and getting chemicals out. Great, you're living out where you're living and you're getting well water, but then you're still bringing these things back in the environment. So it's just another great way.
Does the machine have different, what I will call add-ons to provide the different services, like whether it's for well water or whether it's for whatever the variable is that you're trying to improve or deal with?
The biggest thing is how we treat the water before it goes into the machine, and that's with pre-filtering. Based on what the water reading is. If you're living in a community, even the small communities, all of those that, I think it's 10 or more, they have to be state registered. So either, we talked about getting a water sample and getting it tested to find out what's in it. I have got a ton of resources to be able to take fluoride out, to be able to take VOCs and other ground contaminated waters out. There's some really powerful chemicals on the eastern side of the country that are chemical based around DuPont, those big industries, that they're able to take some of those really volatile chemicals out. So based on what your water reading is and what your importance is in that, we can definitely do that. Pre-filter those things out. I have specific filters that can filter up to 12,000 gallons and save on the machine usage. So that's the biggest thing, is pre-treating what's going into the machine to begin with.
I actually have two questions. The first is, what is the cost of the unit, if you're willing to share? And then secondly, have you used any or participated in any networking groups such as the Chamber of Commerce or Women's Networking? Just wondering if you've had success with those.
There are 5 different levels of machine, and I really do like to talk to people on an individual basis to find out what their needs are. One of the basic machines can be financed for like $25 a month. That will do, one of them's $20 if you just want drinking water. But I really encourage just going that little bit more to be able to get bigger plates, and the costs are varying because of the plates in the machine are platinum coated. They're medical grade platinum, coated over titanium, and that's really important to get quality in your machine. A lot of people will look at knockoffs and such when they start looking at it and are really not satisfied with what's coming out. Plus, because of the quality of the platinum and there's not enough of an electrical charge, it will actually cause metal toxicity because the metals will come off of the plates. So that's like my hugest warning in that. So people are really looking at costs, they really look at where they're headed to. What we have one that is just specifically, but not specifically, but even more so for commercial uses, for restaurants and other businesses, a hotel that I've been working with too. So just I sit down with the consumer for that. And then, remember your other question?
Well, about networking groups.
Networking groups. I do belong to the Box Elder Chamber of Commerce. I haven't joined into the Rapid City one. I'm in other networking groups, and I do, I think one of the first groups that I got into, I think with networking, what I like about this is that it's not paid and it's not a referral base, and we're here to learn and to educate and to get each other. And sometimes one of the things I find in some of the other networking groups, the women's networking group is amazing. Another couple I've been to is the Getting, and I can't do that. You know, I'm not about getting. I'm not about, like, if you refer to me and, you know, I being in the MLM business before and having to deal with some of those people, they'll only want to do business with people who are going to do business back with them. I don't think that's a really good precedence to set for any kind of a business model, that that's the trade-off, and it devalues who you are and what you're doing and what your product is. I would rather have somebody come to me because I am a resource and because of what I do offer, rather than because they're supposed to, or that's the right thing, or just being able to, you know, share information and be available. So some of those networking groups can work for you, or not so much, or that it's really kind of, you know, a one-way path to the whole getting thing. And I'm all about, you know, that whole circle. You give what you get, what you give.
You mentioned that you're working with businesses, so speaking on industrial level, I mean, I've seen the machine at work. I forget the terminology, I don't know if it's gallons per minute or how it is, but like my husband and I are looking at doing a brewery. We need a lot of water all
Yep.
at once. What are the options in that
Okay.
realm?
On that level, definitely the super model, which is the higher end model, and it actually separates the machine. Every machine you push a button for, you know, and there's 3 plates, 7, 8 plates, and the titanium plates. When I talk about the plates, they're the platinum coated titanium plates. The commercial model is ideal for industry or for bigger, higher end uses. You can put out 2.2 gallons per minute, and you have that machine actually has 12 plates in it. There's 5 on one side, there's specifically just for the drinking waters. And then there are 7 on the opposite side that are for the cleaning waters. And it will use just table salt versus, you know, some of the other solutions you can get from the company. I do have a specific recipe that can make the other solutions and save people more money. I'm all about saving money. So you can run water through that specifically. The nice thing about that, it's got its own cleaning cycle, and it doesn't have to be cleaned on a regular basis where the other machines are. And so there are a lot of alternatives for that. Breweries, and I have been to a couple different breweries, and their issue is keeping the environment safe for the hops to grow, and chemicals will kill them, all the other detergents and such. So using the waters, it's sodium and it's chloride, and it dissipates, and so it's really safe to keep those things. I know one company uses an ionization process, and they're looking at switching over to my waters because they know they'll dissipate. You don't have to keep on rinsing the gallons and gallons. In a hotel up in Denver, one of the restaurants up there, I literally cleaned a smoker with my water. They were using cans and cans of the oven cleaner, and then using copious amounts of water to rinse that. And they left the door for me. When I did the video, I sprayed my water on there and let it sit. I had a little scrubby, and I just gently just touched it over, and it melted the grease away. And they were just in awe of what it's capable of doing. The other thing that one of the waters can do, because it is a degreaser at 11.5, I clean all of my vegetables with that. You don't know the pesticides that you had on your produce until you see it sitting in a bowl and it's yellow, but then when you can taste the difference, you know how tomatoes don't taste like tomatoes anymore in the grocery store? It's because of all the chemicals that they have on it. And even organic fruits and vegetables, there's still pesticides. There's still things that are now organic, used to be very strict, and they've come into a gray area. So clean everything off, it's amazing, you know. So there's just a lot of different uses for the water, so industry, restaurants.
Okay. Well, our last question that we always ask is, what can we do as a 1 Million Cups community to help you in your business?
I love the fact that this 1 Million Cup community has, just in the few meetings that I've been here, that everybody is sharing. It's just another big piece of personal development. And anybody with any ideas that can help me, I absolutely would love that.